Let's talk Giants. Holy shit. My God. This is going to be tough for me to get through in a decent amount of time. I could talk for the next 2 friggin' years about this team and where they're headed and where they're at right now. I was fine with Pat Shurmur and James Bettcher after the Patriots loss. Okay? I think at the time we were 2-4, right? And it's like, all right, we lost to a very good Patriots team. They're going to the Super Bowl. I don't see anyone that's going to, I know they lost to the Ravens this week, but they're going to the Super Bowl. They're going to play in the AFC Championship for sure, probably going to the Super Bowl. The Vikings, despite what led up to that game, they were just hitting their stride. They were just figuring out what was wrong. And of course, Adam Thielen just got hurt, so I don't know how serious that is, but I guess he's questionable. Barring Thielen being out for an extended period of time, the Vikings are probably going to be a wild card team. I think, the Packers might be dangerously close to be falling off the cliff considering the injuries they've sustained at the wide receiver position. So that there's a potential for them completely derailing. But I see Packers winning the NFC North. I see the Vikings getting the top wild card, first wild card. We're battling with the Seahawks for the first wild card. 49ers probably win the NFC West. Seahawks probably getting the second wild card. Vikings getting another wild card. Packers winning the North. I guess Saints winning the South. And it's between the Cowboys and the Eagles in the East. I was fine with Shurmur and Bettcher and what was going on at 2-4. I did not think we were going to lose against the Cardinals. I thought we had a chance to maybe pull one out against the Lions. And I thought those 2 games combined with the decent effort we gave against the Vikings and the Patriots, the fact that we were in those games for as long as we were and competitive, if we just erased certain mistakes here and there, that we would be able to beat the Cowboys, especially after watching the Cowboys lose to the Jets. I thought this is a beatable team. We can do this. We're not the same team we were in week 1. Guess what, motherfucker? We're the same team we were in week 1, making the same goddamn mistakes. And all the talk leading up to this game was, guys, we finally have everyone healthy on offense. We finally have Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley and Darius Slayton. And our offense still fucking sucked. Now, granted, Sterling Shepard did not play. He was ruled out, experiencing concussion symptoms. He went back in the concussion protocol. Probably best to just shut him down for the rest of the year. We're now 2-7. Who gives a shit about this season? Put him on IR, let him regroup and try and figure out what's going on with him and get him healthy and so he can have a future. That said, this offense sucks, and it's because of 2 to 3 things. I'll say 3 things. Our offensive line is just atrocious. I mean, John Halapio was, and this is why I'm starting to really hate Pro Football Focus, because they labeled him as an emerging star, a rising star, because he played in fucking like 1 game last year, or like 100 snaps last year, and did well in 100 snaps. Well, guess what? There's a little more than 100 snaps in a season. 100 snaps is like less than 2 games, dude. And he's been a problem at center. Mike Remmers sucks. Nate Solder sucks. They are awful bookends, and they are allowing far too many pressures, hits, hurries, sacks. 5 sacks we allowed against the Cowboys, and that goes hand in hand with number 2, which is Daniel Jones. Turns the ball over way, way too much, and it leads to points. A lot of points that... Say what you will about Eli, but Eli got a very good handle on turnovers towards the end of his career. But at what expense? What did it cost us? He didn't risk anything. He wouldn't attempt anything down the field, anything that looked iffy, anything that looked tight or close. He didn't attempt it at all. And so we didn't move the ball at all. And we go 3 and out all the time. But Daniel takes the chances, and sometimes they pay off and sometimes they don't. We were up fucking 12-3 in this game with a minute left to go in the first half. And we should have been up more. We get the pick on the very first play of the game, the very first pass of the game. Antoine Bethea lays in the weeds, pops out of nowhere, picks off the ball, and we get the ball at the friggin' 8-yard line. And this goes into number 3. Pat Shurmur and his imbecilic play calling. Dude, we have the ball on the 8. We have an opportunity to go up a touchdown at the beginning of the game and really get the momentum on our side. And what do? Vanilla basic handoff to Saquon up the middle. vanilla basic handoff to Saquon up the middle. Empty backfield, third down where it's like obvious you're going to throw and you're not going at a quick pace and you just like let the defense adjust. And of course they blitz and they're able to force Daniel into a bad throw. And we have to take a field goal. Jesus, dude. Get a little creative. It's almost like he was completely off guard and just called the 3 plays that he had lined up for their first drive when they got the ball at their own 20. As opposed to, hey, we got the ball. We're on the 8. Let's put it in the end zone. Let's do a little, what is it called? Sprint fake left, where you had the whole line move left, and it looks like you're doing a stretch play to the left to Saquon. You fake there, you boot all the way back right, and Jones can either run it in, or he can hit whoever is wide open in the end zone, probably Evan Ingram, whoever is coming across the formation. I mean, it's like, you didn't even try that? I'd try that on first down, and you probably score there. If you don't score there, all right, go from there. But I mean, like, run, empty backfield. Like, dear God. Daniel Jones throws the interception towards the end of the first half. I don't hate the throw. I said this in my blog post, which is like 2,200 fucking words that no one will ever read. Throws a deep ball to Darius Slayton. And Darius Slayton had a step on his defender, so he was open. It's just a bad throw. He threw it way too into the middle, into the inside. If he throws it on Slayton's outside shoulder, Slayton could possibly adjust, make the catch, and that's a big gain before the first half, and maybe we get a field goal out of it. I don't hate the call. Instead, he throws it right down the middle. Safety has an easy pick and is able to get a huge return, and they get the field goal before the end of the half. And I mean, 12-3, dude. 12-3. Rosas misses another extra point, man. I know this is why I'm not a GM or a coach, because I would fucking cut that guy. You can't miss 2 extra points in 2 weeks in a row. You just can't. The first one cost us the way that we played the game. Cost us the game, essentially, because it affected the way Shermer called the rest of the game. Same with this week. You're telling me if we go in, it sucks that we go into the half tied when we were up, but like tied versus down by 1, when you owned that first half. Sure, you gave up a fair amount of yardage, but you got turnovers. You had the momentum. I mean, Rosas missing the extra point really sucked. It takes a toll on you, and it affects you down the stretch. You know, the pass to the Jarwin, whatever the hell his name is, the guy that only catches touchdowns against us, apparently. Janoris Jenkins just gives zero to little effort on the fucking... Yeah, so Janoris Jenkins, he just decides to put in, like, one of the worst tackle attempts I've seen in a very long time. It reminded me of the tackle attempt that Eli Apple had in that Rams blowout in 2017 that effectively ended his career with the Giants. Jenkins is supposedly Shermer's guy. Shermer's on board with him. And I don't know, dude. Your tackling fucking stinks. And I don't know that you really are you're not a lockdown corner. I mean, you're a corner that takes his chances here and there and comes up with a pick. Most of your picks this year have been easy gimmies. So I don't know. You know, I would be shocked if they don't trade him next year. Just shocked if they don't trade him at some point next year. Because it's like, I can understand it's one thing, like, you know, pick sixes. He's knocking down balls. Don't know. A lot of times he gets lucky. He got burnt a few times in that Dallas game, and if Dak Prescott makes a throw, those are both touchdowns. So I don't know. I'm kind of over Janoris Jenkins, to be honest. Yet again, we did not utilize Evan Ingram at all. You know, I don't know what Shermer is thinking, but you know, Van de Esch was out, but like not using Evan Ingram against. Van de Esch was out. They had Sean Lee, okay, and Jalen Smith, okay, but like you still need to attack the linebackers and put them in a position where they have to make a move, and then you go off of that. We're still not utilizing Saquon Barkley correctly in the passing game. He had that one big screen that went for a huge gain. Other than that, it's like you split them out, but like, why are you not? They don't have to be long routes. Attack down the field. You know, you tried to run a screen again, go back to the well, and of course it got blown up because they learned what that looks like, and they were able to key on it. Like you split them out, I think once, and like even then, coming out of the backfield, like just awful play calling. Someone tweeted it like uncreative, uninspired, just, you know, putting like almost zero thought thought into the whole thing. Defenses know what's coming pretty much most of the time, and it's just, predictable offense. And then you have Jones trying to make plays. He runs and scrambles for a first down. He's trying to extend the play and make sure he gets the first down. He doesn't secure the ball. When we lose the ball, that leads to points. The interception at the end of the first half, that leads to points. Those were, I think, 6 points right there. Could have very easily been 14 points. And then you have the fumble at the end of the game that goes for a touchdown. It's like the game's over at that point. So you would have liked to not see that, but the game was over. So who gives a shit? But this team is hopeless. We trade for Leonard Williams. There's news and reports that we're planning to open contract talks with Leonard Williams before Thanksgiving. I know it's one game, small sample size. I get it. He's just joined this week. You can only expect so much from someone who just joined. He had one quarterback pressure. I think he had like 1 tackle, 2 tackles, maybe 3 tackles. Did not stop the run. Every time they handed the ball off to Zeke or Pollard, they got like at least 6 yards. The linebackers were not meeting anyone at the line of scrimmage. They were making first contact when the ball carry was 3 to 4 yards down the field, and then they were carried another 2 to 3 yards. We just need Alec Ogletree is, I don't care what kind of grades he's getting from PFF. He's not doing the job. He's not getting it done. So I think they gotta find a way to move on from him. I don't know what his contract terms look like, but maybe we'll just incur like a ridiculous dead cap, because I guarantee they tried to shop him at the deadline and everyone was like, pass. And so now we're stuck with him, and it's like, well, if we cut him, we got a lot of dead cap. We already have a lot of dead cap. Man, I tell you, Jerry Reese really fucked us over, man. Whew, just really screwed us over towards the end there. And we've been recovering. We're trying to recover ever since. That's how I opened my blog post, okay? 6 of the past 7 seasons have been losing. That's the most since the 70s. I wasn't alive to witness that decade of horror, the darkest timeline, the darkest decade. I can't imagine if you were a Giants fan before that happened, then also being a Giants fan after that happened. God, you should be praised, get a medal. That is commendable to the nth degree. I can't imagine, because I want to give up on this team so bad. I really do. And I know that's, I won't, but it's just so easy for me to just not watch. It just is this is the same bullshit they keep churning out every season, keep feeding us the same shtick every season, and overhyping everyone and saying they're about to turn a corner, and they're not close. They are 50 to 75% of a good team. They're not 100% a good team. And I don't know that they're going to ever get that other 50 to 25 to 50% to be a good team. They're just so far away from being a good team. So far away. They have to replace 3 of their 5 offensive linemen. They probably could just replace 2 to 3 of the linebackers they have right now. I don't know. I know the safeties, Bethea and Peppers had a big game. Bethea with the pick and the fumble recovery. Peppers with the forced fumble. But they're still look like they're confused and lost. DeAndre Baker is very close to being called a bust. The brain farts on this kid is unreal. They were in man coverage and he just lets Amari Cooper. He's like, hey, Amari, you're going to want to go straight across that way, and then you'll find the end zone. Just make straight across and then left, and you'll find the end zone. Jesus Christ, DeAndre Baker. And I get it. He's a rookie. And that's Shermer's out. That's going to be his out. Is they had to put out a fucking tweet or stat saying that we have the most snaps by rookies by a large margin. Some 500 plus snaps. Quarterback's a rookie. One of our key receivers is a rookie. Defensive lineman starting rookie. Cornerback starting rookie. I know. It's a lot of rookies, a lot of young guys, but we're not going to get Saquon. His last season is 2021. Do you think in 2 seasons we're going to turn this fucking around? Because we're not re-signing Saquon. There's no way we're going to hand him that money. I would love to. I think they should, but they won't. I just, if my hope is like a gasoline tank, taking a look at that needle, it is on E. It was I got the warning signal, low gas with the flashing gas tank, 30 miles to empty. That was last week with the Lions. Now, boom, empty. I am stalled on the side of the road, and I don't have AAA. So, dear God, man. Dear God. We're in a bad spot. Nate Solder. Oh, such a bad contract. We have a potential out after this season. That's cool. Oh, we can get out of this? That's amazing. Yeah. It only cost us $13.5 million, dude. We are already tight on cap space. They had to rework Rhett Ellison's contract just so we could fit in Leonard Williams. And now we're going to cut Solder and have to chew and eat 13.5 mil. Yeah, sure. Eli comes off the books. That's 20 mil, something like that, I guess. But then we have to eat 13.5 from Nate Solder. Oh my God. We had 8 losing seasons in the 70s. We were playing in the Yale Bowl. I don't know if you're familiar with maps or geography, cartography, the Yale Bowl is not close. It's legit. It's like a 2-hour drive from New York City. The Yale Bowl. I can't believe, I said this in the blog post. If we were another city, Cleveland, Tampa, Detroit, Kansas City, we would have moved. Indianapolis, Baltimore, we would have moved after the 70s. During the 70s, we would have been like, nope, no thanks. This is awful. But since we're a New York team, it's like we have New York behind us. There's been talk about how like, well, Daniel Jones holds the ball too long. And the offensive line actually gives him 3+ seconds to throw the ball, which is fairly high for higher than the league average, I think. But it's like Daniel holds on the ball, doesn't pull the trigger, doesn't scramble. And so that's what leads to a lot of sacks. But there were plenty of plays during Monday night last night where it was like he barely had a chance to survey the field and go through his reads, and he had to make throws before he wanted to make the throws. So I still think it's the offensive line that's killing us, because if he had a little more time, there were a few red zone plays. There was one red zone play where he got a little pressure, and if he started moving left, and if he just keep it simple, all you have to do in the red zone is make sure you're aware of where Golden Tate is and Evan Engram. If you can just keep those two, be aware of where they are on the field and make sure, and they're gonna get open. There was a play, he gets pushed to the left, the pocket collapses, he goes to his left. Golden Tate does opposite of what you should do, which he doesn't go with Daniel Jones, he goes against the grain, but he's wide open. And if Jones sees him, it's a touchdown. On another red zone play, it's, I guess, zone coverage, and he instead tries to force it underneath to, I guess, Slayton or someone. It's a third down, and there's a linebacker all over Slayton that knocks it away. Meanwhile, Evan Engram is wide open in the end zone. I mean, it's easy to say that from where we're sitting when we have the bird's eye view, the coaches all 22, whatever that view is. Just Engram and Tate. Those are two guys that you should just, you can look around, but like those are the guys you got to end up going to in the red zone. I feel like you can throw the ball anywhere in Tate's facility and he's going to, he showed it. That catch was amazing. And I saw the OBJ catch live and I was like, that's the greatest catch of all time. And I think everyone else said it's the greatest catch of all time. That Golden Tate catch was superb, on par with the OBJ catch. The guy got up, got some ups, got some height on that jump, and one hand and bring it down inbounds along the sideline. Hell of a catch. And I really thought that was going to be the pivotal moment that turned the tide and said that we're Giants all the way. There's no way we're losing this game after that catch. It's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing because we have been shit against most of the NFC East. I mean, the Redskins are the Redskins. They've been awful and garbage for so long. We're 9-4 against them, but we're 3-11 against the Cowboys. We're 2-10 against the Eagles. We're just not. And those two teams have, what's sad is those two teams have two of the best offensive lines in the league, and they have one Super Bowl to show for it. So, I mean, say what you will about the quarterback, the play calling. It seems like the easy fix, easy quote unquote fix, is offensive line. Draft offensive linemen out the ass. I mean, I don't know what they do at the 2020 draft. I mean, honestly, I would, if I'm Gettleman, I just go all in on that first round on the top prospects. I snag whoever that elite pass rusher is from college. I snag him, and then I trade up and I snag a starting left tackle. And if there isn't one available in the draft, I would go all in on signing a top left tackle and move Solder to the right. That's what you kind of have to do, and just find someone at center who can coordinate the blocking scheme and production schemes better than Jalapeno, because he's just not getting the job done. What a load of shit, man. I don't even want to. I don't know. Go to my blog and read the rant I went on. I'm done talking about the Giants. I just fucking so disappointing. I've lost all hope for the 2020 season, and maybe there's hope for the 2021 season. You kind of have to have reserved the hope for that season, because that's the last season we'll have Saquon. There's no way we're gonna sign him. God damn it, dude. I mean, 12-3 should have been 13-3. Fuck, man. It should have been 17-3. I mean, should have got 7 on the opening drive, more than that, the 8. I mean, another field goal. We should have been up 17 something. Instead, we're up 12-3. It becomes 13-12 in a minute, because we just lose track of Jarwin, throw a stupid interception. That fucking black cat, man. When that black cat came on the screen, I was like, this is great for us. For some reason, I thought this is great for us. It's bad luck for the Cowboys, because the Cowboys were already having bad luck and were already stumbling all over themselves. So I thought that was the final nail in the coffin for them. Little I know, nope, that is actually the tides are turning and the bad omen, the bad luck coming back on the Giants. God damn. And the score looks like it's crazy out of control, 37-18. This game was 23-18 with 8 to play. And even when they scored and took it up 30-18 after that, I mean, the Amari Cooper long touchdown completely took the wind out of our sails. You could see it in the offense. Didn't give a fuck after that. But, guys, we're down by 12. It's 2 touchdowns. We've had, obviously we've had some struggles balls in the red zone and punching it in, but like we're only down 12 and there's 8 to play. 2 drives, 3-4 minutes each, make the right plays, you're back in the game. They just completely gave up. So the Jets game, I don't know if I even want to watch. And if we lose, and I'll end with this, if we lose that Jets game, blow it up. Rebuild time. Rebuild at all costs. I mean, honestly, I would get rid of Shermer, Betcher. I don't care what kind of effect it has on Daniel Jones. It can't affect him that much. Trust me, it cannot affect him that much. As someone who's been in through a lot of different environments, moved a lot as a kid, it does not. No, you got to learn how to acclimate and adjust. You're not that attached to Pat Shermer. I know he fucking loves you, but like you'll get over it. Shermer, Betcher gone. I think you need to wipe the slate clean with a lot of the guys that have big contracts that aren't doing you favors. Jenkins, Solder, Ogletree, and a lot of the young guys. Build around them, and then you got to draft get as many draft picks as you can, and free agency. You got to get savvy. You got to rebuild, and then Gettleman is on the hot seat because for the one saving grace for us over this horrific stretch of 6-7 seasons, it has not been fun to watch. Is that at least we're not the Jets, and if we lose the Jets, we're worse than the Jets, and we can't say at least we're not the Jets. We are not even the Jets. We're below the Jets, and that's just unacceptable. You got the commercials running for tickets, season tickets. You get the stadium less than half empty. I heard "Let's Go Cowboys" chants at MetLife. Dude, you're in a bad spot in a big way, and you need to make big changes. Otherwise, we're going back to the 70s, the disco era. Disco's supposed to be dead. Ugh.